Welcome back to another video, guys. Today I'm working on the Passat again, and looks like there's a fair few people watching Passat stuff, so I think I'm gonna come back and try and do a bit more in-depth video. So today the suspension, and I've done the other side already, so I know what to expect this time. I'm planning to refresh all of the joints here. They're a bit some of it's a bit perish. This one seems okay, but really soft. I don't know how long it's going to last for, but yeah, all of the joints, bushings refreshed. I'm going to start by removing the pinch bolt. So I'll do the pinch bolt, remove the top two upper control arms. Hopefully that doesn't give me a lot of drama. The lower, I'll get the light in there. I don't have a lot of light over this side here, so remove the lower links to the front bar there, so I can get to the control arm, but also free up the suspension lower bolt. So I'll do that. I'll come back. Alright, pinch bolt came out relatively easy. After I got it out, what I had to do was I had to get a pry bar in there. Pry bar in between these two grooves, pry it out, get a hammer, you know, knock the two arms out like so, and it just pops out. So there's, you know, these things have grooves, so it actually, the pinch bolt goes in and holds it down via those grooves, so that's quite important there. But yeah, I'm just gonna give it a bit of a clean, I think. Clean that up using a wire brush. I'm using a barbecue wire brush, don't say anything. But yeah, so I've removed the lower suspension bolt. That's I think that's 2/18. That came out relatively easy. Now I'm going to remove, I think this suspension is ready to come out. I might just remove the lower link there first, and then I can get this out of the way more. Alright, so I managed to get the end links out from below. They're just 2/16. You just use a hammer to knock out the bolts. So once you get the lower one off, the top one's easy. I think I've got a lot of room. The top is 3 16mm bolts as well. Those two are easy. Oops. But the one in there, you need a wrench, and hopefully you've got something like this, where it's got the bit here that spins, adjustable, so it makes your life easier. This suspension now is ready to come out. I don't think I should have any issues from here. I should be able to take it out just by maneuvering this to the side and up and down and all the rest of it, so let's give that a go. Right, so I got the suspension piece out. I am going to try and swap it over for some conies. Don't know how it's going to turn out, but I got one side on. To get the top mount off, 13. This top bit should come off like that, and that should give you more freedom to do the two suspension bushes. So I don't know how broken or how chipped. Oh, I can see some cracks there. That was cracked. So I'll change both of these over. I'm going to change one at a time. I'm going to make a note of where this sits naturally and where it's tightened up. So I'll do one side, tighten it up, do another side, tighten it up. So one arm at a time. Got my replacement bits there. And then this will require this is going to require the spring compressors, I'd say. So grab those and then try and swap it over. Alright, that's one arm out, 2/16. So that one's the that one's going to be the straight one. So it's going to come down to this, I would say. Looks like that one. Let's take it out of the packet. Forgot to record this, so I got up to the steering end, rack end, I think it's called. Relatively easy. There is a zoom it in. There is a procedure or process to removing this. Don't take this off first. Remove the top 13mm nut. Otherwise, if you do take this one off first and then put this one back on, that's just going to keep free spinning. So important to note. So remove that one completely, and then you can knock that bolt out. So that should be fine. And then just get a adjustable wrench with a 16 on the other side of it. So adjustable because it's slightly thicker, and then the 16 that should crack open. Crack it open with the rack end in place. Once you've loosened that, then proceed to knock this out with a hammer. So I've got that installed. Now I'm loosening the end of the lower control arm that bolts into the knuckle. So there's two of them. Unfortunately, I think I've knocked this enough so that's loose. I've just used a 18mm to crack this open, and then just leave the nut on, smash it with a hammer, smash this with a hammer. That should loosen it. The other one's a bit harder. That's on the other side, the other inner lower control arm. That's going to be a spanner job, and I had to just use my leg to crack it open. But it's open now, and once that's open, I can then potentially use an extension to pop that on top of the nut and then just hammer that down. So hopefully that's an easier one to get off. But yeah, so I'm going to do this side first. I think they're going to be 18s in there. I'm going to use my extension and breaker bars to get that off, and that should be fine. Right guys, I got the front lower control arm in, so that bit's done. Only last control arm, and then I have to swap the rest of this suspension over as well, and that should be good as gold. I wanted to make the front is all sorted. The bushings have all been done. Like so. These are all the old busted up, cracked bushings. I actually got some new, what do you call these, bump stops and dust covers. As you can see here, front end is completely done, refreshed, everything back to how it was, and a little bit better. So the car should ride really nice at the front. I just need to get an alignment. Last thing on the list here is to remove and replace the rear springs, because it was way too low. So now I've got it riding hopefully a little bit lower than standard height, but not too low. To get the springs out, you have to jack up the car, get both wheels off, get the car safe first, and then what you want to do is remove the lower bolts to hold the shocks into the rear knuckle there, and then do both sides so you can drop the arms lower to then remove the springs. So I got the springs out. It's like 1 or 2 coils shorter than the eye-back springs that I have here, so that should, I've seen the front already, it's gone up higher, so it will pass inspection at the very least. These rear brakes are really crusty. The only good thing about these brakes is they've got a lot of life and a lot of meat on them, so that should hopefully pass. Worst case scenario, I'll have to get this machined. But yeah, so sick as a dog. But I'm one of those people where I can't sit still. I just can't. So almost replaced the rear springs. I was going to do a Coney swap, but then someone came over and helped me test the shocks, and I think they're blown, so I'd rather just use standard shocks for now until I find out what to do with the second-hand Coney shocks that I have. I only picked it up for $50. Honestly, can't complain. I'm not complaining at all. I got it with free, well, kind of free with the springs. Springs are spring and shocks together, $100. Like, that's, you know, nothing. The springs alone are worth a couple, 150, 200 second hand. Anyway, and plus the Passat parts in Australia are not that, they're not that common. You know, there's a lot of GTIs, there's a lot of Mark, 4, 5, 6, 7. Passats, newer generation, B6, but not B5s. For some reason, there's just not a lot here. And I've always, found interest in the B5s. So more the A4s, but something a bit quirky about VWs. So yeah, got the springs in. The old springs are here. They were really short. It tucked the tyres completely. It rubbed and scrubbed everywhere. That's not my style. This will be driven around daily to make sure that there's no issues at all with the car. There's no leaks. Suspension has been refreshed. Now, get this back in. I'm just going to line that up. Jack it up there. Let it go. Can pretty much do it with one hand. So that's lined up, get the bolt in, and off you go. So I'll just get up there. For the sake of content. Send that through. Start the thread, and then sound like Darth Vader. There you go. So get that torqued out with a breaker bar, and that should be good.